Today we engage with our outdoor spaces to experience the full length of the Black River and connect with our wildlife while helping to combat climate change through tree planting efforts. Welcome to Jamaica Magazine. I'm Theodore Henry, and we get things rolling with today's news.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, May 11. Government will be spending $30 million over the next 2 years implementing its Energy Management and Efficiency Program, EMEP. The program aims to lower energy consumption in public sector facilities. Energy Minister Daryl Vaz says 80 government facilities will now be retrofitted with renewable energy and energy-efficient interventions.
This is to further safeguard against world market energy price shocks, as well as to improve energy security and protect consumers on the grid. In light of the recent mandate given to the ministry by the Prime Minister for the energy sector, the recently concluded Integrated Energy Plan will be subject to another urgent review.
Minister Vaz was making his contribution to the sectoral debate in Parliament on Tuesday. The EMEP program is a collaborative effort involving the Jamaican and Japanese government, the Inter-American Development Bank, and the European Union Caribbean Investment Facility. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Science, Energy and Technology is updating the policy, legislative and regulatory framework related to the energy sector. Minister Daryl Vaz says a consultant is being engaged to review and update the 2009 to 2030 National Energy Policy. He says the new legislative framework will diversify the energy mix, providing increased renewable energy for electricity, lessening the dependence on fossil fuels, and reducing carbon emissions.
These interventions include solar photovoltaic technology, LED lighting upgrade, and energy-efficient air conditioning technology. The structural and electrical integrity assessment of 12 hospitals, 10 schools, and other public office buildings have been completed to support this effort.
The minister adds that the second Integrated Resource Plan, IRP2, which is designed to achieve a modern electricity grid and a low-cost electricity solution, will also be subject to urgent review. Work is also advanced for the tabling of 3 pieces of legislation: the Petroleum Downstream Activities Bill, the Electricity Amendment Indemnification and Validation Bill, and the Electricity Amendment Bill. September is being targeted for the completion of the island's data protection regulations. The Data Protection Act was passed in 2020 and an Information Commissioner appointed in 2021. Technology Minister Daryl Vaz says a consultant was engaged to map all the provisions of the Act, which will require subsidiary legislation. The consultant also assisted in the preparation of drafting instructions to operationalize the data protection regulations.
The preliminary drafting instructions have since been received from the consultant, are now being reviewed by the Ministry and the Information Commissioner with a view of finalizing those instructions by September 2022.
Minister Vaz says the Information Commissioner has been working to improve the island's data privacy and protection framework. This, he says, is being done through heightened public awareness and consultations with various stakeholders. Prime Minister Andrew Holness is expressing satisfaction with the reductions in the length of time and cost to provide units under the new social housing program, NSHP. Mr. Holness says more recipients will benefit as the quicker turnaround time also leads to lower construction costs.
We're getting better at bringing to market houses that are affordable at the price point that persons who are low income or affordable income categories could afford.
The Prime Minister was speaking recently as he handed over a 2-bedroom unit to Johanna Paul in Augusttown, St. Andrew. The NSHP house was built for less than $5.5 million in under a month. So far, the program has delivered 64 units, with 55 under construction and another 84 units being finalized. And finally, Labour Minister Carl Samuda says further meetings are being held with unions and stakeholders of the National Water Commission, NWC, to restore normality to water supplies across the island. Since Tuesday, NWC customers have been experiencing disruptions to their water supply as workers attached to the commission have been demonstrating for improved wages. During Tuesday's sitting of Parliament, Minister Samuda said meetings were ongoing to resolve the matter.
It will require further consultation because there are still differences that will have to be resolved. And I will keep the people of Jamaica advised. I've already indicated our decision to meet, and I give an undertaking to keep the people apprised of the progress or the challenges that are being faced at this time.
Minister Samuda says all is being done to resolve the issue as quickly as possible with input from the Ministry of Finance. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
All children deserve positive parenting. Why not pamper us? Be patient with us. Make time to teach us and, of course, play with us. Celebrate milestones with us and don't forget to be our #1 supporter. Do all these things and practice positive parenting today.
Our first stop is in the Breadbasket Parish, at the island's largest wetland area, where we'll indulge in an overview of its history and offerings. Here's the Black River Morass.
The Black River Morass is actually the largest wetland area in Jamaica. The upper morass was used for planting rice some years ago. That has ceased, and as a result, we have lost that area. But the lower morass is still here, and it provides not just a safari boat tour, but shrimping, fishing, and there's a lot of bird life still in the lower morass. It has been declared a wetland of international importance, a Ramsar site.
The Black River Morass is home to hundreds of crocodiles, vegetation, and other aquatic animals. Through guided tours offered along the river, you can glide upstream to learn more about the wetlands and all its inhabitants.
Welcome on board the Safari Diva and welcome to the Black River Safari. My name is Roger and I'll be your captain and also your tour guide. Our trip will take us approximately 4 kilometers upstream, during which I'll show you some birds, wetland vegetation, and some of our very friendly crocodiles. Presently, we're on the Black River, and this is Jamaica's longest navigable river. It is 44 miles long, about 70 kilometers. Well, surrounding us, we have over 21,000 acres of swamp, and this is the largest wetlands in the Caribbean. It is also home for over 65 different species of birds. 17 years ago, it was estimated there was a little bit over 100 crocodiles living within the area. And since then, their number have increased as they are on the endangered species list. They were once hunted for their skin to make a nice shoes or a good handbag. They are protected. No hunting of crocodiles in Jamaica. Well, they are part of our heritage. They're on our coat of arms with the crocodiles at the top, Indians at the side.
Unlike what we may believe in Jamaica, our crocodile here, Crocodilus acutus, is one of the most docile of the crocodilian species. The thing about it is that they help to cull the fish population, the animals, the fish that are diseased or the fish that are dead, they will eat them and so on. So that is well worth having those crocodiles here within our wetland areas.
These birds you are looking at, they are called egret, commonly known as galling. The reason for the birds to nest in this location, behind us, this is our local fish market. So once those small boat comes from sea, they'll have some food to get. In the river, we can catch big fish like tarpon. Those can get up to 200 pounds. And snook, which is a very good eating fish, can get up to 50 pounds. And the African perch, mullet, snapper, several different types. It's very good for fishing. So by the shallow edge of the river, it is also the main habitat for our freshwater shrimp. This little device I have here, this is called a shrimp trap. It is made from the bamboo plant. We'll use for bait roasted coconut, oranges, or even a piece of chicken. Now once the shrimp goes in, it's difficult for them to go out. The conical shape helps to keep them in. So we'll just hold it and twist it. It opens up so we can shake them out. It's actually very simple, but it is effective. The design came from West Africa over 200 years ago, and it is still used today. The vegetation or trees, they are called mangrove, which we have two types of mangroves tree, white and red. White mangrove, small leaves, and they are brighter in color. Red mangrove have much bigger leaves and also have those aerial root that goes into the water. It takes up all the minerals and nutrients for the tree. This section of the river we're entering, we call here Mangrove Avenue, as it forms a canopy similar to our Bamboo Avenue. These are all red mangrove trees, the ones that have the roots going into the water. In the early 1900s, the bark or skin of red mangrove was used for making a type of dye which we call tannin.
Did you know that the water in the Black River is actually clear? The river got its name due to the dark shade created by the presence of peat soil on the riverbed.
Peat soil, which is at the bed of the river, that is giving off the dark reflection. It also has its advantage and its disadvantage. The advantage, whenever time we have heavy rainfall or during hurricane, the soil, it acts as a sponge which absorbs the excess water. So we have no flooding activity within the area. However, when the water level gets too low, the peat soil, it gives off the methane gas, and with the help of sunlight it will ignite.
There are many different types of wetlands. In Jamaica, the most common wetlands are coastal mangroves, morasses, lakes, and ponds. For more information on the Black River Morass and all the other wetland areas in Jamaica, visit the National Environment and Planning Agency's website at www.nepa.gov.jm.
Lowering the sodium content in children's diets today can help prevent heart disease later in their life, especially for those who are overweight. Shake the salt habit, shop smart and cook smart. Use less or no salt when cooking. Try using fresh herbs and seasonings to add more flavor. Limit the consumption of salty snacks. Take the time to carefully read the nutrition labels on food products to identify those high in salt and choose the healthier options. Remember, no more than 2 grams of salt per day from all food sources for children under 11 years of age.
There's so much taking place in our natural environment where our trees, insects, and animals react to the choices we make daily. Perhaps if you listen or watch close enough, what you see could put you on a new trajectory of helping to conserve our wildlife.
Bow your ears for a bit. Hear the trees wailing or the leaves grabbing your unwanted carbon dioxide. Insects making a shrilling sound, and the tuneful noise of some unnamed and rarely seen creature reverberating within the bushes. Now open your eyes a bit wider. Watch ants band together in groups of hundreds, or wasps gathering wood shavings to build their next home, and birds preparing some sweet meal for your liking. All these make up the wildlife, those organisms that grow or live wild in any area.
Wildlife conservation is an attempt to preserve either a species or a population of a particular species, and by doing so, you in effect are also preserving its habitat because the species doesn't exist on its own. And there are different types of conservation. You have what they call in situ conservation, which is conservation within its natural habitat, and that is usually the aim of most, if not all, conservation efforts. And you have ex situ conservation, where you're trying to preserve the animals in a not so natural state, for example, in a zoo or in a controlled park area. And again, the goal is usually when their natural habitat is improved or protected in some way, then they try to repatriate those species back into their natural habitat.
And preserving the wildlife should be an important part of the human agenda. Here's why. It promotes the continuation of native plant species. Small animals like bees, butterflies, and our very own doctor bird play an important role in food production. Conserving these animals, protecting these animals, means that we are ultimately helping in pollination. It increases medicinal value. Plants are a major source of medication, but so too are animals. Take, for example, how research shows that the venom from the cobra can be used as an ingredient in making the medications for leprosy, or how lobsters can be used as antifungals. It's a way to preserve our heritage. Some plants and animals are unique to specific countries, so conserving those wildlife means conserving those traditional aspects of our culture, things like the blue maho plant or the yellow pui tree of Jamaica, and even the lions and leopards of Africa. It enhances food security by protecting natural habitats from degradation and forests against deforestation. The availability of a variety of food products increases.
Everyone needs to play a part. We have to understand that preserving the wildlife, it's not necessarily just for how it can benefit us, but we're also looking at the future generations. And so each person needs to be a little bit more responsible in what they're doing, where they dispose of garbage, cutting off areas and so forth. Understand the law, the Wildlife Protection Act, for example. One basic feature of it is that all native birds are protected. Don't catch the birds. We have hunting season, that is something that is actually regulated. But besides that, we try to encourage persons not to take matters into their own hands at times. Sometimes we have some species that we're trying to protect that are inherently can be a dangerous species, like a crocodile, for example. We encourage persons not to go out and try to catch those animals, but to call NEPA.
Here's your chance to do your part to conserve the wildlife.
Your efforts to help the fight against global warming can be as simple as planting a tree. Learn more.
Trees are often considered the lungs of the earth. As part of their life cycle, they take in carbon dioxide and release oxygen into the atmosphere. Let's all continue this necessary part of keeping our planet healthy by planting more trees. And here's how you do it. things first. Decide what tree you will be planting. Is it one that will provide timber? Shade? Will it beautify your space or will you be eating its fruits? Once that's settled, you need to consider what kind of conditions it would need to grow. Naturally, some plants do better in some areas than others, while others need full exposure to sunlight versus those that can survive without direct light. And there's also the soil type to consider. Some trees thrive near seasides. Others prefer mountain areas, while certain trees are content in the valleys. Next up, space. Some trees grow wide, others tall. While you may be able to prune trees to keep them under control, some lose their essence when tamed. So, be sure to plant large trees in areas where they will have adequate space to grow. If you have a smaller space, consider growing a smaller tree that requires less pruning to keep it in check. Then there's the matter of your fully grown tree posing a threat to nearby structures. As a country situated in the hurricane belt, downed trees during times of disaster is a part of our reality. There's also the pesky issue of trees which shed their leaves profusely, and others with copious amounts of flowers and fruits, which might just be the cause of a dispute with your neighbor if planted near the fence. That being said, be sure to plant trees at a safe distance from walls, power lines, fences, sidewalks, and the very foundation of your house. Once you've considered all those tips, it's time to plant.
First step is to dig a hole, right? Not too deep, about a foot and a half, not too wide either, because you're not burying the plant. You're trying to provide a nice area for it to grow. Right? Upon digging your hole, if you notice that the soil type is clay, that is the kind of coarse soil type, you probably need topsoil, right? Because when you're putting back the soil, it's going to be a challenge for you. But after that, you dampen the soil, ensure that it's moist, provide a moist area or environment for the plant to be planted in. Ensure the plant is in the center of the hole. If you dig the hole a bit too deep, there's a process known as backfilling, right? That's when you put back the dirt into the soil to a certain height that is much favorable for you and for the plant. After you do that, you want to dampen the soil, right? Ensure the plant is in the center, because you end up having a plant to grow lean or to the side, because plants grow into the direction of the sunlight. Ensure that the soil goes up to the root collar. Now the root collar is where the stem and the root of the plant or the root plug meet, right? You don't want to go above that. Once you do finish that, you water it, then you stake it. When I say stake, you take either a bamboo stake or a regular stake, put a flagging tape beside onto it and put it beside the plant. That is you marking the plant. So once you're doing any maintenance, you yourself or any other individual in the area can know that, hey, there's something planted there, so you don't end up wasting your effort and time when planting. The most important thing is watering after and nurturing the plants. So you water early mornings and late evenings. If you water in between those times, especially in the afternoons, the plant will end up struggling with the intake of the water, right? Because the sun is going to be evaporating at the same time it's trying to take in the nutrients. You can also mulch, fertilize, or add kaya dust or sawdust to the mound to help lock in moisture for the plant.
And there you have it, a step-by-step demonstration of how to plant a tree. Call 876-618-3205 or visit 173 Constant Spring Road to get your plant seedlings. Happy planting!
Jamaicans consume on average 9 to 12 grams of sodium or salt per day, twice the World Health Organization recommended amount of less than 5 grams or 1 teaspoon of salt, and more ideally, less than 2 grams of sodium per adult per day from all food sources. This excess salt in the diet causes high blood pressure, kidney and bone damage, gastric cancer, obesity, and worsening of asthma. Reduce the amount of salt you consume to no more than 3 to 5 grams, or half to 1 teaspoon per day for adults, and less than 2 grams for children under 11 years of age. Let's shake the salt habit and live healthy. A public service message from the Jamaica Information Service.
We started outdoors and the journey continues. In today's Hear This, we highlight some of the benefits of being outside. Benefit number 1, a boost of vitamin D. You can enhance your health just by soaking up some sun. Vitamin D is important for bone growth and regulating your immune system. Benefit number 2, it improves your immunity. Many plants release substances, including organic compounds called phytoncides, into the air that contribute to boosting our immune function. Sunlight also seems to energize special cells in your immune system called T cells, which help fight infection. Benefit number 3, improving your vision. Going outside can do so much good for the health of your eyes. People who have problems caused by staring at computers and smartphones for long periods of time may find that spending time outdoors can lessen blurred vision, red eyes, and headaches. Number 4 on the benefit list, a breath of fresh air. Heading outside for a breath, a deep breath of fresh air, can clear your lungs, give you more energy, and lower your blood pressure and heart rate.
What a way you're full of our roots and culture. That was in Jamaica 60. Jamaica 60? What a piece of news, Miss Matty. I feel like my heart going bust up.
Just in, the island of Jamaica is on the verge of celebrating its 60th year of independence.
I will we have to celebrate it now. They say the people them them come here, you know. But you see when our people decide say the other people them free paper. Oh no, them say if it's war, start it whatever. We all collect medal panta for it, you know.
Medal.
Amount of tongue we give them
The celebrations are slated to begin on January 1st, 2022. Organized by the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport. We have more in this report.
On site and planning activities are ablaze. Persons are advised to download the Reggae Jamaica app to know what the activities for the Jamaica 60 celebration.
Yeah, download the app to get the updates then.
Where one show ends, another production is being put together for you tomorrow. But until then, engage with us through our YouTube channel. There you'll be able to see this and other magazines, features, and news items. Also, visit the JIS's Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages for more information. From all of us here at the JIS, I'm Theodore Henry. See you soon.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.